This is now your turn. I need you to learn about the testing phase in the SDLC process by yourself and discuss it with your SSM in one of your daily sessions. It's really important that you need to get yourself used to finding resources online by searching Google. And this is the most crucial skill you must have as a software engineer. Here, I provided you with a slide that outlines the scope of your search on the topic. You might be wondering, how the hell am I going to go about looking for answers on these bullet points? Well, it's actually rather simple. You need to remember that this is one of the SDLC phases. So that means you can simply start by Googling about SDLC. For example, simply go on Google and search for SDLC. Now, once you search for it, there is a lot of websites and blogs about SDLC, which is great. And choose any of these websites and go in and check them out. For example, Tutorials Point is one of those popular websites, and also Stackify and ServiceNow. So I think I would like to go to the Tutorials Point, then scroll. Here we go. So this blog talks about what is SDLC. And of course, you've already watched the lesson about SDLC and so on. But I still extremely highly encourage you to read through these blogs and brush up your memory about SDLC and its phases, even though you are going through it now. Okay, now we're going to scroll, and it talks about planning and requirement analysis. It talks about designing. It talks about coding, which is building the product. And at fifth step, it talks about testing the product. All right, so now let's go and check out the first website, which is synopsys.com. Click the link and go in. Let's read. How was the SDLC created? Oh, that's awesome. Please read through and just learn about its history. Okay, now if you keep scrolling, there should be a section where it talks about testing phase. Here we go. So we have the planning phase, coding phase, building phase, and testing phase. All right, read through it. Of course, this is not all, because just reading through a small paragraph is not going to cover all the bullet points that we have on the slide. So you're going to read from different sources and take notes when you read from each source. Okay, let's read this together quickly and you'll see what I mean. It says, the phase entails the evaluation of the created software. So we're evaluating the created software. The testing team evaluates the developed product. Evaluating here means testing, in order to assess whether they meet the requirements specified in the planning phase. So we are testing the product. How we're going to test it? We need to test it whether or not it meets the requirements set by the requirements document in our planning phase. And then it says, assessments entail the performance of functional testing. For example, unit testing, code quality testing, integration testing, system testing, security testing, performance testing, and we have so many different testing types. And those we'll cover down in the future. So don't worry about those testing types and keep reading, learn more about testing. So after this is not the end. You need to go back and search more. For example, I'm going to go and check out stackify.com. It also has the same blog. All right, come here and let's read it. Okay, each website has different content. Well, some of the websites steal the contents from each other, but mostly they have unique content and they talk from different points, from different perspectives. So just reading one small paragraph about a certain topic on one of those websites is not the end. You cannot come to a conclusion. You need to read and go through multiple different sources. So here, this blog also talks about SDLC. As you can see, it says requirement analysis, there is a planning, there is an architectural design, and software development and testing. So we are researching about this testing phase. So we want to learn everything about testing. Okay, so here we have code test. Did we get what we want? So basically, this is what we're trying to validate in this state. All right. After this, coming back to the bullet points we have on the slide there, for example, you want to know what is quality assurance in one of those terms. can simply search quality assurance, and there will be a lot of articles about this. Quality assurance testing, something like this. Here, again, go through, check out these websites. Get yourself familiar with all these different websites, because in your software engineering career, you are gonna Google tons of stuff, and there will be some good websites and some trash websites. So in this process, you'll get to know them. For example, here, Guru99, which is an amazing website. It talks about what is quality assurance. Here we go. What is quality? What is assurance? So reading and understanding and gathering this info are extremely important as a software engineer. Okay, so we can read about these. And also talking about the automation that we have in the slide. You can simply Google test automation, or start with the manual, because you need to understand what is manual before you learn about automation. So simply Google manual testing, or we can search like, what is manual testing? All right, now you can go through this, and there are some YouTube videos too. I don't really recommend you to watch like an hour YouTube video like we have over here. Around 10 to 15 minutes maximum should be enough to get some idea about what is manual testing. And I know that some students prefer watching videos a lot than reading, but I discourage you, because you're already watching these lesson videos. And again, going to another lesson video on YouTube, I wouldn't really recommend it. Instead, I strongly urge you to read, because when you read from the actual material, from these blogs, it hits you differently than just watching the video.